September the 23rd, 2024. Guys, a pretty major update now, and I'm going to have to go along with the National Hurricane Center on their information they're putting out. But they're showing a major hurricane now before it comes ashore right there. It's going to become a hurricane pretty soon. It may not even wait, but notice that it shoots the entire gap between Cuba and the Yucatan. And the HH, that's up to a Category 2, M is a Category 3 and up. And I looked at the printout data today. With this report, it's the first time they've put that printout. Like I said, once they start marking the storm, they will have the data. And I've got it coming in here as a very strong Category 3 with Category 4 gust. And I'm going to show you that chart. I just got where I could sit down, guys, and take a break for a moment. And I haven't had time to, how I'll do the maps on Google Maps with the exact coordinates. That will be in the next video. But I'm going to show you the coordinates right before it hits land without doing the whole map. But right now, you've got movement north-northwest at 7 miles per hour, maximum sustained winds at 35 miles an hour. I think this has increased a little higher since the last thing because I just looked at the satellite images, which you and I are going to look at, and this thing is spinning very well right here already. It's the first time we've seen that definite solid rotation. And this update's only been out 20 minutes, came out at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. But again, curving right through the gap where it doesn't slow it down, headed straight north. And it's just a little bit back to the west from the last cone. But this is showing coming in from around, I'd say, Destin, Fort Walton, this side of it, all the way down to Tampa on this side. We know this thing's going to change somewhat, but each day they're getting more and more confident. Tropical storm warnings out for Cuba and the Yucatan. Hurricane watches in the pink, and tropical storm warnings out for the Keys right through here, guys. So this is going to change. This may turn into a Cat 4, but already, again, let's take a quick look at the information from the printout. Now, these are the coordinates, but I will do a video on the next update later this evening with the map. Here's what we're dealing with. I've got it set up for the last two marks and the speed, location before it comes ashore. Then notice that these two are post-tropical, and it says inland. Now, the next to the last one is 90 knots or 110 gust. That's, again, knots. It's not miles per hour. But the one before it comes ashore, again, at 120 on the gust and 100 knots for maximum sustained winds. So strong Cat 3 with Cat 4 gust. I'm going to show you that chart just real quick. Now, again, the last one before it comes ashore, 100 knot wind sustained. That's 115 miles per hour. Cat 3 starts at 111. But you get into 120 knot winds that are the gust, 138. That's a Cat 4, a strong Cat 4, by the way. So that's now, them looking at the speeds now. They underestimated this thing the entire time. We're going to look at some different information. But again, we're talking about Cat 3, Cat 4 gust, guys, coming into Florida. And that's nothing you want to play with because I think it's going to strengthen. Even with that, I would not stay in anything along the beaches. I'm just telling you. Now, these are the latest images as of 4:20 p.m. Central Time. Look at the rotation now. It's the first time we got a very clear rotation. The storms are starting to encircle that thing. And all the models are showing it shooting the gap, the most dangerous aspect of it as far as getting into the Gulf, because it's going to stay in open Caribbean waters. The outer areas will graze both Cuba and the Yucatan. But that center core, looks like from all the models, which we will look at, is going to go right through here. This is maybe the storm of the season. And it's been very warm in a lot of locations, especially over in Africa. And that's where the storms are coming from. But, guys, this thing is starting to build, and it's concerning. Let's look at a couple of different filters. Now, looking at it in the infrared, you still got some northeast wind shear. But this is Cuba, right around here. And you guys there, along Jamaica, probably are going to start getting some rain there. And the Cayman Islands. you're going to see a lot of this come across. But again, it's not going to do you like it did the last storm did. It's the eye of it, or the center, unless things change, is going to miss both sections of land. This is the way the storms are wrapping. We're starting to see the rotation very clear now. And I want to look at one other filter. Now, this is called the day cloud phase. Your light blues and greens are surface winds. You can see where they're moving out with the storms. Your bright yellows are the top of the clouds. The oranges are the edges of the storm. It's getting darker because the sun is setting here. But things are wrapping up, guys. Look at this. It's very large. It's large for the Caribbean. If that center does shoot the gap, nothing's going to be able to slow this thing down. And what's amazing to look at is it's going at 7 miles per hour now, forward speed. But it's going to travel about 400 or 500 miles just on the 26th alone, according to the models. So you got tomorrow's the 24th. 25th, it's getting ready to shoot the gap, unless it speeds up with its forward motion. But we're already looking, they haven't named it a tropical storm yet, but it will be very quickly because of what we're seeing here. Now, I want to show you the Fox spaghetti map and their models. But what I want you to do is notice there's this new advertisement on the top left of the channel. There's a reason. The GQ Electronics logo has been on our site for at least 10 years. And if you remember back when they were first installing the 5G towers, I'd contacted GQ and asked them could they design one of these meters for 5G radiation. Within 4 or 5 months, they had it designed, and they sent me 4 or 5. We gave some away, and hundreds of people bought them because they measure the radiation from the 5G towers and the radiation coming from your cell phone or anywhere else in your electronics. Now, what they've done, and it may be because they know the world is on edge, is they've come up with the new GMC32OS. Notice it's a nuclear radiation meter. $66. The rest of them, I think the cheapest were $100 to $129, some a little higher. So they really stepped into it with the right price because they're smart marketers and they know this is going to become a very popular item. Think about it. You can measure it. And I know that with the other meters, it has a USB charger with a built-in battery. Mine haven't failed me in all these years. But if you plug it up with the USB to a charger, you can mount it, say, somewhere in your house, and it's going to stay charged and give you all the readings throughout the day. If you go outside, you may, especially in these days, need it more than you think. But that's not very much to invest in something that could let you know whether it's safe indoors or outdoors. Anyway, they're there. It just came up today. Click on there. It's going to take you to it. Now let's go to Fox Hurricane. Didn't mean to really throw that in, but some friends emailed me this morning concerned about the nuclear explosion in Russia. Asked me if I knew about the different meters, and this one has just come out, so maybe that's going to answer a lot of questions. You'll never beat that price for anything. If you go into some of the other brands, you may be looking $400 or $500, but these little meters that you can hold in your hand are super accurate. Let's look at Fox Hurricane, which is also on bpearthwatch.com. Now, this spaghetti model update is 37 minutes old, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Everything's situated right here in this section of Florida, guys. It's Apalachicola down into the Tampa area. Now, the Canadian model has this thing moving very close to the right side of the Big Bend area, guys, if that's what you call it. And a lot of the other models are spread either way. I don't see anything on here from NavGem yet, the Navy model. Very quickly, this is the U.S. Navy model NavGem. Notice the date, September 11th. Here is Francine. Guys, I don't know what's going on. You think that Kamala has defunded so much stuff that they actually can't afford to update their systems now? Maybe they have it with ship radar. I don't know. Or either they don't want the red states to find out what's about to hit them. Any way they can use to disrupt this upcoming vote, they are going to try it. And if you read some of the alternative media, guys, they're cheating in every way they can, mail-in ballots and everything. But on a positive note, am seeing that some of the Republicans learned something from the last election, and they're heading off some of these attempts. Not all of them, but at least they're being reported. But again, Navy, I don't know what's going on there. But at one of the most important times of your nation, if you're in the Navy, you should be on top of this. I'm talking about the higher ranking officers, unless you just don't care anymore. Now, it's a good thing that Trudeau is not in charge of the Canadian models. They've got it set up just like the GFS guys. You can see it shoot the gap unimpeded as far as the center of circulation. And now it's moving just a little further to the west as it comes in here. Let's play it forward one time. Check this out. Very strong. Boom, right in the center now. And that puts the left side of it very close to Gulf shores and everything. We'll play it again. Here's your secondary storm forming by October the 3rd. Now this thing is going to traverse the Gulf in one day. Let's stop it there. Notice that's the 25th. And we play it forward. Now we're at the 26th. And it will be the 26th when it comes ashore. Look at that. So it's traversed all of this area and coming shore Thursday. So tomorrow, again, is your last day to really prepare. Everything else will be last minute, hunkering down things. And if you're in one of the evacuation zones, I talked about this during Hurricane Michael, with this storm, and you stay near the beach, even within a mile of it, you're going to be in danger of losing your life. It's your decision. Now, if you plan a vacation down there, if you call now and say, we're looking at the weather, and they're saying we got hurricane warnings out for your area, and I need to refund or rebook. I've done it too many times chasing these hurricanes when I was able to. And if you're dealing with a decent realtor that you're renting a beach house from, or either Holiday Inn or whatever it is, big resort, they may have something inland, and just call ahead forward for you and book the rooms. But if you were to make it, it would be the last time that you will ever want to hear the screaming winds tearing the roof off your home. That's what's going to happen with the storm. It could become a Cat 4, Cat 5. Remember how far out it is now? And they're already predicting a Cat 3. How many times have they said it's going to be a Cat 1 or 2, and we see it get into a Cat 3? But if they're calling it now, it's getting into this warmer water. This is going to be one of the Camille's, Katrinas, think of all the big storms. Ian, again, Michael, Camille, just nothing good is going to come from it. So guys, if you're smart, cancel your beach vacations anywhere from Louisiana to Florida, just in case. And now you have time to get the refund or a rebooking further north. Do not stay in the path of the storm. Now this is the GFS, or the Global Forecast System. It's doing the same thing almost. It's shooting the gap between Cuba and the Yucatan. It's coming in a little further to the east. Notice when it gets into the Big Bend, and it is showing a formation of very low pressure after that's all said and done. But here it comes through the gap. But notice it gets a little further to the right, not as close to the Pensacola area. But I guarantee you, each update we get between now and impact time is going to show a slight deviation either way. Now this is called the WRF model. It goes out 72 hours. Here it's showing it shooting that gap between, and stops right in here because, again, it's only a 72-hour forecast. But notice in the last few frames it tilts towards the Tampa Bay area. Again, I keep saying it's going to change, but watch that drift back right here. See that? Getting very close. We're just going to have to wait and see. It will not be definite until we get until sometimes tomorrow night or Wednesday morning. But Thursday, guys, you're not going to have any time to make much preparation other than getting out of town. I guarantee you right now, thousands, if not millions of people in Florida, possibly Alabama, are going and getting all the water, all the bread, all the gasoline, all the supplies like that, the candles, gasoline in your vehicle. They're getting that now, plywood from your Home Depot or whatever, to braid up, to board up their windows. And you're going to be seeing traffic jams, guys, starting tomorrow into Thursday. And what's going to happen, it's going to bottleneck I-10 and all the interstates going north from there. I-10 is east and west, but you're going to want to run either to your right in this map to the west towards Louisiana and Texas if you're trapped in a situation, or you want to go north through Birmingham, through Jackson, Mississippi, Atlanta, Georgia, whatever you got to do. But you do not want to be on the beach on this storm. It's going to take a miracle for something to happen to slow it down now. Again, when they're calling for a Cat 3 this far out, we got trouble. But we're watching it, guys. You watch it. Watch for the next update.